These are the sounds that were created by the Big Bang, although possibly not, because you can't hear anything in space. The Big Bang created the place we all know and love and live, the universe. The universe is where Earth and our solar system and then everything else is, including some forces that we're not really sure about. It's important to know about these because it can help you understand how special Earth really is. So let's begin in the middle of our solar system. The star in the middle of the solar system is the Sun. The Sun is a Class G yellow dwarf star, which means it's a middle-of-the-road star. It's not too hot by star standards or too big. It's perfect for Earth to contain life on Earth. It's got 70% hydrogen and 28% helium and a few other trace elements, but mostly those two. It's 5,778 Kelvin, that's how hot it is, which is over 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I got all of this from NASA.com. .gov. So if you pull a little bit farther out, you get to the planets and the moons. Now, the planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And all of them have moons except for Mercury and Venus. And there are 178 moons orbiting the planets and also some of the dwarf planets. And there are 5 dwarf planets in the solar system, which are Pluto, Makemake, Haumea, Sirius, and Eris. And Jupiter is the biggest planet, where Mercury is the smallest, and it would take 24,462 Mercuries to fit inside of Jupiter. And I got all this information from telescope.org. So, between Mars and Jupiter, there's an asteroid belt. And the asteroid belt is actually only 4% of our Earth's moon's mass. And four objects make up the entirety, or not the entirety, but over 50% of the asteroid belt. And they are the dwarf planet Sirius, and then Vesta, Pallas, and Hygiea, which are all asteroids. And Vesta and Pallas are so big, they're giant asteroids, they're considered minor planets. And then the Kuiper belt is past Neptune's orbit, and it's a bunch more objects. Some of the other dwarf planets are there. And it's responsible for a lot of the short-term comets, which are comets that last for under 200 years. And so, that brings us, if we pull a little bit farther out, to the Oort cloud, which is a place that's at the farthest end of our solar system, and it's a group of icy objects, and that's where the long-term comets come from, which are comets that last longer than 200 years as they orbit the Sun. It takes them 200 years. So past that, we get to the Milky Way, where there are over 200 to 400 billion stars, and the Sun is just one of them. And there are a bunch of types of galaxies, and the type of galaxy that the Milky Way, our galaxy, is a spiral galaxy. And the Milky Way is 10 million light years across. So if you want to travel it, you gotta wait 10 million light years. So going out and out to going farther in, we go to a black hole. Now, black holes are at the center of most galaxies, and those are called supermassive black holes. And supermassive black holes are really big. It would take 200 suns, 20 billion suns, to show how big a black hole, a supermassive black hole, really is. And a black hole is time and space coming together to create such a gravitational pull that even light cannot escape it. And some black holes can be less dense than water. And I got this information from windows2universe.org. Now, if I told you that all the matter in the universe is actually a little less than 5% of it, you might not believe me, but it's true. And there are only two other things that make up the rest of the universe, the other 95%, and they are dark energy and dark matter. Dark energy makes up about 70% of the universe, and dark matter makes up 25%. And they're so hard to test and figure out that we've only been able to figure out a couple things about them, and one of those is that the dark energy repels gravity. That's what we've been able to figure out so far. So to bring it all back to Earth, Earth is the only place that we've been able to figure out has life on it, especially intelligent life. And that's a magical thing, and it's a place where we can all look up at the stars and just remember the magic of the